Hi there, I'm Jonas and welcome to ILEO. At ILEO, we make small electric coffee roasters. We design them in Denmark and we produce them right here in Taiwan. For this video, I'm going to show you everything from the unboxing to assembling of the machine and walking you through your first roast. We're also going to talk a little bit about cleaning and how to maintain your product in perfect condition. So stay with me, it's going to be quite a long video. Okay, so let's get your bullet ready for its first mission. A few parts need a little assembly, but it's designed to be super intuitive, so don't worry about it. Let's get started. So first off, you need to assemble the control housing onto the bullet. And there's a little latch here that's gonna catch this bracket. So you start by holding it at an angle, pushing it up slightly, and then the magnets will do the rest. And you're gonna hear this rewarding click when it's locked. Next up, there's a screw at the top which needs to be tightened to keep it in place. Use the 2mm screwdriver to tighten it at the top. Now it's secured. Next, assemble the trier with the set screw between the wooden handle and the trier spoon. Insert the trier into the bullet, and when you're roasting, you want the spoon part to be facing downwards. And when you take a sample, you just turn it slightly upwards and then you pull it out to make a sample. Super easy, like that. For the door handle, insert the screw into the handle, then insert the spacer and screw the handle onto the door. For the Pro model, there's an additional metal spacer that goes in between. This is to add more weight to the door because the capacity is a little bit higher. So now for the cooling. Whether you have the classic cooling tray or you have the Pro cooling tray, it's all about getting those beans cooled down as quickly as possible. So the reason why the Pro model comes with 2 cooling trays is because the Pro cooling tray works extremely well with larger batches, but not so well with smaller batches below 500 grams. For the standard cooling tray, all you have to do is remove the metal tray, insert the white filter in front of the fan, and put it back together. You're now ready to go. So if you're using the Pro cooling tray, first you have to assemble the stir blades onto the base. And we'll do that by using the 4 provided screws. It's very, very simple. So there is a trick to assembling the stir blades onto the base, and that is put everything on a flat surface before you tighten the screws. This will make the whole assembly completely flat and works better in your Pro cooling tray. So the Pro cooling tray comes with this larger filter that snaps directly onto the cooler. To allow for a higher clearance between the Pro cooling tray and the roaster, you need to add these 4 feet under the legs of the machine. Last but not least, don't forget to plug in the Pro cooling tray or the standard cooling tray into the top port of the left side of the roaster. Simply plug in the connector where it fits with the 3 pins and turn the small screw. It is now secured. So the stir on the Pro cooling tray will automatically start once you go into cooling mode on the machine. You can always override it by pressing the button here on the left if you want to. Just note that you should never turn the stir blades by hand, as it's going to damage the gears. Before you can start roasting, you need to check the drum alignment. The drum can move back and forward by a few millimeters, and there is a spring at the back pushing it forward. However, during shipment, it can sometimes get stuck in the back position. So what you have to do is open the door and grab one of the vanes and then pull it forward. You can also test if it works by pushing on the bearing here. It should spring back once you push it to the back position. Then you know that the drum is in the right position and you can, safely start roasting some great coffee. The last step before roasting is to place the bean chute plug onto the bean chute, and now you're ready to roast. Now that your assembly is complete, it's time to find the ideal spot for your bullet. A stable environment is essential for consistent roasting. Ensure at least 10 centimeters of clearance on all sides of the machine, and always place the roaster on a flat, heat-resistant surface. Stable power is essential for your bullet. Do not connect any other appliance to the same power outlet. This is especially important for the 110 volt model. If you have to use a transformer, which we don't recommend you do, but if you have no other option, make sure that it's rated at least 25% higher than the maximum rating of your machine. So for the 110 volt version, it should be 2000 watts, and for the Pro model, at least 2500 watts, preferably 3000 watts. During roasting, smoke is produced, and it's very important that you have a very well ventilated workplace. The easiest way is to place the roaster under a range hood or an extractor fan in your kitchen. This should get rid of most of the smoke. If you do prefer to have a proper ducted ventilation system created, please refer to our guide, which you can find here. One last safety note before you start roasting. The bullet does get hot, especially here on the front. So while roasting and preheating, only use the handles and the control panel. If you want to move the machine, let it cool down properly first. So now that our roaster is ready, let's get our roasting software up and running. It's free, you can download it from alio.com. This will record everything you do so that you can focus on the creative part. Let's get started. First, open a browser and go to alio.com. Then click the app at the top menu, which takes you to the RoasTime 4 download. Click download and then install the software. After you've installed the software, there's a link that will take you to roast.world where you can create a free account. After creating this account, you can sign in on RoasTime with your credentials. Now connect the bullet to your laptop with the USB cable. You'll find the port on the back side of the control housing. Keeping your roaster connected to RoasTime allows you to log all the data, which is essential if you want to have consistent roasting. It also helps by letting you know if something needs to be serviced, and it gives you the free updates for the firmware. So we recommend that you at least connect it now and again. The Roast tab is your personal library. Here you can review past data or use overlay to compare curves visually. With playback, you can repeat a roast automatically. You can even turn a roast profile into a recipe, an automated plan that keeps your results consistent every time. When you're ready to roast, the Active tab is your cockpit. Monitor live data, adjust your settings, and mark key milestones like first crack in real time. For consistent production, the Recipe tab lets you run automated plans based on time and temperature. And if you're looking for a proven starting point, check out Alio Select. You'll find our Lab series for reliable, scientific baselines, and the Pro series featuring recipes designed by world-class champions and industry icons. Our Alio Select is like having your own master roaster right here in your studio or in your roasting lab. The Beans and Calendar tabs are where you manage your inventory and track your history. Linking every roast to a bean makes your data a lot more meaningful and your inventory accurate. So don't forget to create a bean and use it. Consistency starts way before the beans hit the drum. It starts in the preheating phase. And for our bullet specifically, we measure the temperature of the drum wall. So we have what we call an IBTS sensor, infrared bean temperature sensor, in our machine. And it's a sensor placed on top here behind the control housing that is looking at the drum wall. So during preheat temperature, we are measuring the actual heat in the drum. And once you add coffee to the drum, it's then measuring the temperature of the surface of the beans. The beauty of the IBTS sensor is that it doesn't matter how big or how small the capacity you're roasting. You're gonna get the same reading. Compared to the traditional probe that is installed also in the Bullet, but also in other machines, those temperatures would vary depending on your batch size, but the IBTS sensor does not. So your preheat temperature will depend on your batch size. So for example, if you're roasting 200 grams, you will preheat the drum less compared to if you're doing a 1 kilo batch. Here you can see our recommended targets based on batch size. You can adjust these to your liking. Next up, we need to talk about seasoning of the drum. So if your roaster has never roasted before, you need to season the drum. And you need to do that because the drum is uncoated. It's just raw steel that can rust. So by seasoning, what we mean is that you take some beans that you can sacrifice and you roast them into fifth crack. Basically, you want them to be almost so dark that they catch on fire. And the idea is to get the oils out of the beans so that the oils will coat the drum inside. And you want to do at least 3 batches before you start your real roast that you can then drink. So remember, the first beans we are not going to drink. So use green coffee that you can sacrifice. You set your target temperature to 230 degrees Celsius and then press PRS to start the preheating. Once you see 230 degrees on your display, the roaster is waiting for it to be stable. And when it's stable, it's gonna say charge on the display. That's the bullet telling you it's stabilized and ready to roast. So you add between 300 to 500 grams of beans and the roasting will start automatically. Don't forget to put on the bean chute plug after you've added the beans. Right after all your beans are on the drum, set the power to P7 and fan to F3. The drum speed you can leave at D9, which is the fastest drum speed the roaster has. We want to roast these until second crack, so keep your eyes on the temperature and don't let it exceed 245. Usually you will take them out around 225 to 230 for a seasoning roast. After you hit second crack, you can turn off the power and increase the fan speed. Set P to 0 and set F to 9. Then just let the roaster cool down with the beans inside the drum. And after a few minutes, you can then take them out and press the PRS button. So one trick you can use is instead of using your cooling tray or your Pro cooling tray, just use a pot with water. Because when the beans come out after fifth crack, they're gonna be super smoky. And to eliminate the smoke, let them go into water, stir it quickly, and then they already cool down, the smoke is gone, and you can then repeat this process three times. So this is just a simpler way that you don't have to clean up the messiness of these very, very oily beans after the seasoning roast. Okay, let's get started with your first roast. For this roast, we are roasting 500 gram natural Ethiopian. And we're gonna start by setting the preheat temperature on the machine by hitting the heating button up and down to 240 degrees. Then you press the PRS button to start the preheating. The recipe we are about to use, you can find on the ILEO Select. So once the roaster is up to 240 degrees, it will tell you to charge the beans. You can see this in the display. Remove the bean chute plug, add the funnel, and pour in the coffee. The roaster is gonna start automatically. After all the beans are in the drum, remove the bean chute and add the bean plug again. Once you've started roasting, with the heating button, set it to P9 and F2 for the fan. This will give it a bit more of heat in the beginning of the roast. On the graph, you can see the purple IBTS and the blue bean temperature lines begin to climb. Keep an eye on the temperature. Once we hit 100 degrees, decrease the power from P9 to P8. Remember, power is your heat. Start strong to build speed. Fan manages airflow. It clears out smoke and takes out the chaff. Drum speed, keep things moving. For now, just keep it constant with D9. When we hit 175 degrees, increase the airflow to F4. This helps clear out the smoke and optimizes convection for the final stage. To stay in total control as we finish, we will step down the heat to P7 at 185 degrees and then down to P6 at 190 degrees. Now listen for the first crack. You can mark it in roast time after you hear a few pops or hit the F1 on the control panel of the roaster. So how do you know when the roast is finished? Well, on this recipe, we are roasting 1 minute and 30 seconds after we hear the first crack. We also look at the temperature increase from first crack, and on this recipe, it should be between 6 to 8 degrees. This is how you know the roast is finished. Of course, if you want a medium or darker roast, you would roast it a bit longer after your first crack. So, when you believe your roast is finished, press the PRS to enter cooling mode. Then lift the door quickly to drop the beans. Don't let them linger. Get the cooling started immediately. There you have it. You can now officially call yourself a coffee roaster. And if you want to learn more about getting the most out of your machine, check out our other videos in this series. To keep your bullet in peak condition, it's important that you do some very basic maintenance and cleaning. But don't worry, cleaning and maintenance on the bullet is extremely easy to do. First, the basics. After every 3 kilos of roasting, empty the chaff collector. A gentle tap is all it takes to keep your airflow clean. If your chaff filter looks dirty or dusty, the easiest way is to use some espresso machine cleaner. Just take some hot water, espresso machine cleaner, and soak it together. It's going to be clean in no time. If your filter is extremely dirty, you might have to scrub it with a brush. Dry off and install it back into your machine. After roasting 30 kilos, it's time to do a deep clean. The main part here is to clean the impeller. First, remove the chaff collector. Then loosen the small set screw on the side of the impeller. Then simply slide it off the shaft. Just like the chaff filter, you can soak it in hot water with some espresso cleaner, but because it's made of aluminum, don't soak it for too long as the chemicals are going to start eating away of the aluminum. So you might end up with nothing. With the impeller out, you can use a damp cloth to clean the inside of the impeller housing. Once everything is clean and dry, just reinstall it the same way you took it off. If you're using the standard cooling tray, remove the tray, take out the filter, and you can clean the filter in hot water and an espresso solution. And you can wipe down everything with a damp cloth. If you're using the Pro cooling tray, you can remove the chaff box and clean it the same way that you clean the chaff filter. Use some espresso machine cleaner, soak it in hot water, and it's going to clear up immediately. Everything else, use a damp cloth to clean. When cleaning the bullet itself, remember that it has to be cooled down, and please unplug the power before doing so. Safety first. So just like that, we've covered everything from assembly to your first roast. So thank you guys for watching. We are super excited to have you in our community. We want to help you. We want you to fulfill your coffee dream. And if there's anything to do, please don't forget to reach out and share your story. We can't wait to see where this journey is going to bring you, and we hope to see you roasting everywhere.